In diplomatic relations, perception is just as critical as protocol, and the slightest misstep can strain years of bilateral goodwill. Following recent development in the Federal Capital Territory FCT Abuja, human rights lawyer Femi Falana SCN has cautioned FCT Minister Nyesom Wike over plans to shut down 34 embassies and foreign missions over unpaid ground rents. According to Falana, the plan goes against Article 22 of the Vienna Convention and could trigger diplomatic backlash. Okay, the FCT minister has been warned now. But Biko, give us an idea of the international law guiding embassies in Nigeria and what is privy to them regarding the situation with the FCT. The international law is clear that you cannot invade the embassy of a country. And you do that, it's like invading that country. Yeah. That's why people sometimes take refuge in the embassy of a country, believing that soldiers will not come to arrest them right there. So you can then negotiate that person's release to the people who want to pick him. Many people have used that opportunity in the past, and I do not foresee a situation in which a Nyesom Wike or whoever will simply go and shut down the embassy of a country because they are owing ground rent. I want to believe that some of those embassies are not the owners of those buildings. Okay. Yes, they are not the property owners. And to that extent, they should be able to identify the owners of such property and get them to pay the ground rent. I am happy with Wike because the way he is vigorously pursuing this matter of ground rent. Because some of them had been owing this ground rent
for years.
For between 10 to 43 years. And Abuja is where people make a lot of money. Yet, like it is the case across our country, people continue to steal from their own country. They don't want to pay tax. We must make the refusal to pay tax or tax evasion, which is the more common way it is described. We must make it a very serious punishment. In some parts of Europe and America, tax evasion is viewed more seriously than manslaughter. Yes, because it is seen as a big economic crime against the state.
Exactly.
A bit more like economic sabotage or breaking pipelines, the way we see breaking pipelines here. So there's no reason why you will not pay. You want the FCT administration to be able to bring development to every part of the FCT, including the satellite towns and everywhere, the inner city roads. But they need money. And it's not even a lot of money what we are talking about. It's not a lot of money. Yet, people who are in position to pay are refusing to pay.
Maybe they
more than 9,000 of them.
Maybe they forgot.
But I've also heard that even Russia and Turkey that were listed as not having paid,
yes,
they are denying. They are saying that no, we are paid. So I think that Nyesom Wike and his team need to take their time, find out what really the problem is. And it's not difficult. Could it be that some of these embassies listed have indeed paid, but their
the money was not,
or maybe money was not remitted or something?
Exactly.
Because Russia is saying, no, we are paid. We are paid. I don't want anything that will ruin our relationship with some of our best allies. So Femi Falana does not even need to say this for us to know that
this is an issue, an emotive issue, an issue that you have to handle with so much tact and wisdom. So it's not about a lawyer quoting law. It doesn't really matter. There are times when you don't need, when common sense is better applied than the letters of the law.
Where common sense is better applied than the letters of the
Yes. There are times when you need to follow your mind and not your heart.
Okay.
Because there are distinctions. So in my view, we have to take this matter, we have to address this matter carefully. Mr. President needs to get involved. Is the president, if it happens now, people will be calling the president. They won't call Wike.
And also the foreign affairs ministers.
They won't call Wike.
But anyway, gentlemen.
It's that everybody will be calling.
Exactly.
So, Dr. Nigeria is a signatory to the Vienna Convention. I mean, that protects diplomatic privileges. Now, Section 23 of that convention, you know, talks about, it exempts foreign embassies from taxes and rent. So the big question is the FCTA, with this action, breaching diplomatic immunity here?
Well, BQ answered that question partly. If, for instance, the building you are using is in a place where there is a need for you to pay the ground rent, and indeed you are not even the owner of that building, there could be some discussion over that, or maybe it's not aligning perfectly. So we will need to go and look at that.
So we need to know if they are the real owners of the building. But what if they are the owners of the building?
If they are the owners, then there will be...
They are exempted.
Some form of exemption. That's the way I understand it. You're not being a lawyer. The thing that is curious to me, Mickey also mentioned it in passing, is the fact that when you look at the money involved, it's negligible.
It is.
For instance, for over 20 years, the PDP, for instance, using the PDP, everything comes to 7.6 million. When they meet, one sitting of maybe the neck or the end of the meeting, they will spend over that. So what is the point?
On entertainment alone.
On entertainment. Not to talk of their flight and all the rest. Look at Access Bank. It's owned for 34 years, for instance. If the owner of that building, if it's not theirs, and the owner is owing them, then they should pull it out from their rent and pay to the government.
Oh.
Those are things that can be sorted out. Lagos today is what it is because of its IGR.
Yes.
Check it before return to democracy and check where it is now. And when you, sometimes I ask myself that question. I moved from Abule, the Okoba area, to Ogba. In Abule, at the time they started bringing it, it was 2,000 naira. When you pay on time, you pay like 1,700 and something. Now really? At its peak, it's about 5,000 naira. In Ogba, it's about 20. I can't recollect now. But this, at least, it is not up to 100,000 for a year.
And why are people not?
And then you now see some houses, they will come, put their stickers on it. You see somebody owing 10 million, 20 million. Meaning that that person will rake it up over 15, 20 years. And that's why I say to people, there is something about a lot of Nigerians. We are not willing to pay our bills. And that has also gone into our attitude to loans. Some people go to all these loan apps knowing that from the onset they are not going to repay.
Okay.
Yes, yes.
Now, to round up this conversation, BKO, is the FCTA legally empowered to seal a private property without a court order?
Again, we are not lawyers.
Yes, true.
But if it is viewed purely from from the prism of economic sabotage or an economic crime, then they can take such an action. It's not, EFCC will sometimes effect an arrest and then get the court to allow them to detain someone, for example. They are not going to wait for the court at all times before they effect an arrest. Because sometimes if you delay, greater damage could be done.
Yeah.
That's the way it is with criminal proceedings. It's the same way it is even with economic sabotage. Delay can sometimes be dangerous.
Sure.
So if it's viewed purely from the prism of economic sabotage or an economic crime, they can move in, take that decision. So the matter of now detaining you for more than 24 hours so that they can prepare you for arraignment, they can then get the court, to give them permission to detain you for a certain period of time.
All right,
people should go and pay their.
They should go and pay.
It's irresponsible to not pay
that's
that long.
That's the only reason Lagos can stand.
Yes,
among all states.
Absolutely.
And Lagos can be very aggressive about it. Remember what happened with corn oil in those days? Corn oil some years back. They got aggressive. They went there
and sealed it.
They didn't say it's owned by a well-known big man. They went there to Lagos State. Lagos can be aggressive in such matters. That's why Lagos is where it is.
Absolutely.